Hello students, this is our paper 2 Basic of Computer Organization of FY BSc Electronics Computer Science. Okay, so in this course there are 4 chapters: flip-flop, shift register and counter, basic of computer system and memory organizations. So we will start with our unit 1, which is a flip-flop. So in this unit there are different types of flip-flop: RS flip-flop, clock RS flip-flop, D flip-flop, JK flip-flop and T flip-flop. So in this chapter we will study all the type of flip-flop. But before going to flip-flop, first of all we will see sequential circuits. So unit 1, flip-flop. So before going to flip-flop, we will see what is sequential circuits. So what is sequential circuits? So in previous semester we saw the combinational circuits. So combinational circuit is a combination of a different type of logic gates: AND gate, OR gate, NOT gate. Okay, so sequential circuit is basically the next version of combinational circuits. So in sequential circuit there are also a combinational circuit, but with advancement of memory elements. So in combinational circuit we saw different type of circuits: multiplexer, demultiplexer, encoder, decoder, parity generator, parity checker, half adder, full adder. All these are combinational circuits. Okay, this combinational circuit which are nothing but the combination of logic gate. Okay, so now in this semester we will see what is sequential circuit and different sequential devices. Okay, so in the sequential circuit, the timing parameter also need to be taken into consideration. In combinational circuit, we saw there are different type of logic gates or different combination of logic gates, but the memory element is absent. That means when logic gate generate the output, this output cannot be stored. This output cannot be stored in case of combinational circuit. So basically, this is the block diagram of combination. Yeah, combinational logic circuit. Only we give the input to a combinational circuit and combinational circuit produce the output, but this output cannot be stored. This output cannot be stored. So for storing this output which is generated by a combinational circuit, we use memory element. When memory element is connected to a combinational circuit, then it become a sequential circuit. When memory element is connected to a combinational circuit, then it become a sequential circuit. Once again I repeat, in combinational circuit we use different type of logic gates and we provide different inputs to a logic gate. So according to that input conditions, a logic gate generates some output, but that output cannot be stored in a combinational circuit. So for storing the output which is generated by a combinational circuit, we use a memory element, and when we connect the memory block to a combinational circuit, then it become a sequential circuit. This is the basic difference between combinational circuit and sequential circuits. So first of all, combinational circuit cannot be so in combinational circuit the output cannot be stored, but in sequential circuit we can store the output. Okay, so in the sequential circuit the timing parameter also need to be taken into consideration. So timing parameter means what? Because it save the output, it save the output in memory element at different, whenever input is changes, it save the previous output. The output of sequential circuit depend upon the present input, present time input, and the previous output means past output, and the sequence in which the inputs are applied. So in case of combinational circuit, the outputs are depend only on input, but in case of sequential circuit the output is depend on input as well as past output which is stored in a memory element. Whenever the new output is generated, the previous output is stored in memory element. The previous output is stored in memory element. So the new output is a depend on input as well as past output, because this memory element are connected in a feedback path. This is the feedback part. Feedback means what? Some part of output is again fed to the input. Some part of output is again fed to the input. Okay, So this memory element is connected in a feedback path. So the output of sequential circuit is depend on input as well as pass output, which is stored in a memory element. Okay. So in order to provide the previous input or output, a memory element is required to be used. The sequential circuit need to use a memory element as shown in figure. So this is the basic block diagram of sequential circuit. This is the combinational circuit. That means these are the combinations of different types of logic gates. We apply input to a logic gate, and according to that input condition, this combinational circuit, which are the combination of logic gate, generate some output, and that output is stored in a memory element, and which is again fed to the combinational circuit. So whenever we apply a new input, the according to that new input combination and output which is stored in a memory element, so input and output which is stored in a memory element, so depending upon this input and this pass output, combinational circuit generate new output. Combinational circuit generate new output. So in case of sequential circuit, output is a depend on input as well as past output. But in case of combinational circuit, the output is a depend only on present state of input. Okay. So figure show the block diagram of sequential circuit, which include the memory element in the feedback path. So this is the memory element which store the output, and that output is again connected to a combinational circuit. Okay. So this is the sequential circuit block diagram. Okay. Now present state of sequential circuit. Now, what is present state? The data stored by the memory element at any given instant of time is called as a present state of sequential circuit. The data stored by the memory element at any given instant of time. So the output stored in a memory element at a present time or at a given time. The output which is stored in a the output which is stored in a memory element at any given time is called as a present state of sequential circuit. Then the next is next state. Now what is the next state? Here, the combinational circuit shown in figure operate on the external input and the present state. Produce new output. So the present state is a memory element, and this is the input, external input, and present state is the data present in the memory element. Okay. So the combinational circuit shown in figure operate on external input and present state to produce new output. Some of these new output are stored in a memory element and called as the next state of the sequential circuit. So next state means new output which is generated by a combinational circuit by using this external input and by using this previous output which is stored in a memory element. Okay. And the new output is called as the next state. The present state is a data which is stored in a memory element, is called as a present state. Okay. So here the data is present in memory element is called as a present state, and when we apply the external input to a combinational circuit, then combinational circuit generate the output by using this external input and by using this data present in a memory element. So there are two input to a combinational circuit. First is external input and second is a present state of data which is stored in a memory element. So by using these two input, combinational circuit generate new output, and this new output is called as a next state. This new output is called as a next state. Okay. The data stored in a memory element is called as a present state. This is external input, and combinational circuit generate the output by using external input and present state which is stored in a memory element, and it generate new output is called as the next state. Okay. So the combinational circuit shown in figure operate on external input, this external input. Okay. And present state, this is the present state which is stored in memory element and produce new output. Okay, and this new output are stored in the memory element and called as the next state of sequential circuit. The most important part of sequential circuit seems to be memory element. The memory element is called as a flip-flop. It is the basic memory element. So in the sequential circuit, the important part of sequential circuit is the memory element. And this memory element is nothing but a flip-flop. That is our unit 1, flip-flop. So in this chapter we will see different type of this memory element, which is flip-flop. This memory element is called as a flip-flop. So basically flip-flop is work as a memory. Flip-flop is work as a memory. It stores the present state of combinational circuit. It stores the, or it saves the present state of combinational circuit. So in this chapter we will see the different type of flip-flop and their working principle. Okay, so this is all about sequential circuit. Okay, here there is a comparison between combinational and sequential circuit. Okay, so combinational circuit, the input present at the instant of time. So in combinational circuit, here this is combinational circuit, only this is combinational circuits, input, combinational circuit and output. So in combinational circuit the output is depend on only input state. The output is depend on only input state. But in sequential circuit the output is depend on present input and past output. This is input, this is present input and past output. So past output is stored in a memory element. So in sequential circuit, the present input is output is depend on present input as well as past output. But in combinational circuit, the output is depend on only input combination. But in sequential circuit, output is depend on input as well as past output in sequential circuit. Okay, memory element. So in combinational circuit we do not use memory element. Memory element is not necessary in combinational circuit, but in sequential circuit memory element is necessary. We use memory element in sequential circuit, and this memory element is nothing but flip flop. Okay, clock input. So clock input is not necessary in combinational circuit, but it is necessary in a sequential circuit. So what is clock input? So is a clock input to activate the memory elements here. Memory element is activated only when clock input is applied. Whenever we apply a clock input to a memory element, only then memory element will activate it. Otherwise it cannot be store the data. So whenever we provide the clock input, then memory element is activated and it store the data. Okay, so clock input is necessary in a sequential circuit, but in combinational circuit clock clock signal cannot be used, because in combinational circuit memory element is not used. In combinational circuit memory element is not used, therefore clock input is not necessary. But in sequential circuit we use the memory element, and to activate the memory element clock input is necessary. Examples. Now these are the different examples of combinational circuit: adder, subtractor, code converter, that means half adder, full adder, multiplexer, demultiplexer, encoder, decoder, binary to gray, gray to binary. All these are the combinational circuits. And the sequential circuit, the example of sequential circuits are flip-flop, shift registers, counter, that we will saw in this throughout the course. Okay, so once again I repeat the comparison of combinational and sequential circuit. The first parameter is output depend on. In combinational circuit output is depend on the output is in combinational circuit the output is a depend on only input. In combinational circuit output is a depend on only input, but in sequential the output is a depend on input as well as past output, and that past output is stored in a memory element. Okay, the next point is memory element. So memory element is not necessary in a combinational circuit, but it is necessary in a sequential circuit to store the previous output. Clock input is not necessary in combinational circuit, but it is necessary in sequential circuit. Why? Because in combinational circuit we cannot use a memory element, but in sequential circuit we use a memory element, and to activate the memory element a clock input is required. Without clock input memory element cannot be activated. So for activating memory element in sequential circuit we use clock input. And the fourth point is examples. So we know the combinational circuit that we saw in previous semester: half adder, full adder, multiplexer, demultiplexer, encoder, decoder. And the example of sequential circuit that we will see in this paper, which are flip flop, shift register, counter. Okay, so here examples of sequential circuits: flip flop. So in this chapter we will see the different what is flip flop and different type of flip flop. The second is shift register and a counter, sequence generator, sequence detector, that will we will see in second unit. Okay, now we know that sequential circuit. A sequential circuit is a sequential circuit. Is nothing but a combinational circuit, but only we connect the memory element in a feedback path. When we connect the memory element to a combinational circuit, then it become a sequential circuit. Okay, now there are two type of sequential circuit. There are two type of sequential circuit. First is the synchronous sequential circuit, and second one is asynchronous sequential circuit. Now we will see the comparison between synchronous sequential circuit and asynchronous sequential circuit. Okay, so this is basically a flip flop. This block represent a flip flop. Okay, so in synchronous sequential circuit use system clock to trigger all flip flop. Means in synchronous sequential circuit each flip flop required a separate clock. Each flip flop required a separate clock. So this is the flip flop. There are three flip flop 1, flip flop 2 and flip flop 3. Okay, these are the input to first flip flop, input to second flip flop and input to third flip flop. Okay, so in synchronous sequential circuit all the flip flop requires separate clock plus. This is the clock signal. So this clock signal are separately applied to each flip flop in case of synchronous sequential circuit. But in asynchronous sequential circuit, we apply a clock signal only first flip flop. We apply a clock signal to a first flip flop, and the output of first flip flop is used as a clock input to a second flip flop, and the output of second flip flop is connected to a clock input of a third flip flop. This is the basic difference between synchronous sequential circuit and asynchronous sequential circuits. In synchronous sequential circuit all the flip flop clock individually, but in asynchronous sequential circuit we apply a clock only first flip flop, then the output of previous flip flop is connected to the clock input to a next flip flop. Here there are three flip flop 1, flip flop 2 and flip flop 3. So clock input is applied to only first flip flop. Okay, and whenever we provide the input to a first flip flop, then it generates some output, and this output is used as a clock input to a second flip flop. And again when the clock input is applied and here the external input is applied, then this flip flop generates some output, and that output is again connected to the clock input to a third flip flop. So this is the basic difference between asynchronous sequential and synchronous sequential circuit. Output of one flip flop used as a clock of the next flip flop. Okay, the sequential circuit which are controlled by a clock are called as a synchronous sequential circuit. Here in this diagram all the flip flop are controlled by a individual clock. All the flip flop are controlled by a individual clock. So this circuit is controlled by a clock. So whenever the sequential circuits are controlled by a clock, then it becomes synchronous sequential circuit. Okay, now in case of asynchronous sequential circuit, the operation of first second flip flop is depend upon the first flip flop, and operation of third flip flop is depend upon the second flip flop. Why? Because the output of first flip flop is connected to the clock signal of a second flip-flop, and output of second flip-flop is connected as a connected to a clock input of third flip-flop. Okay, so in sequential circuit which are not controlled by a clock are called as a asynchronous sequential circuit. So in asynchronous sequential circuit, the operation of the circuit is depend on the flip-flop, not a clock. In this case, the output of so the operation of sequential circuit is controlled by a clock because clock is applied to each flip-flop. So therefore, the operation of these circuits is controlled by a clock. But in case of asynchronous sequential circuit, its output are not depend on a clock. Otherwise, it is depend upon the output of previous flip-flop. So this circuit is called as a asynchronous sequential circuit. Okay, the next point is this circuit will be active only when clock signal is present. So whenever clock signal is present, then and then only this circuit is activated. Otherwise, it is in a rest condition. Otherwise, it is in a rest condition. Okay, and in case of asynchronous sequential circuit, this circuit will be active in which event can take place anytime when the input are applied, and this circuit is activated whenever input is applied. Whenever input is applied, then this circuit will activated. But in a case of a synchronous sequential circuit, if we apply the input but a clock is not given, if we apply the input but a clock is not given, then this circuit cannot be operated. This circuit cannot be operated. So whenever we apply a input, the clock signal is required. Without any clock signal, this circuit cannot be operated. Okay, but in case of asynchronous sequential circuit, when we apply the input, as soon as applied by application of input, this circuit will activated. Okay, here this circuit will activated in which event can take place anytime when inputs are applied. That means whenever we apply the input, this circuit will activated. But in case of a synchronous sequential circuit, circuit is activated only when clock signal is present. If we apply the input, it doesn't matter input is present or not. If we apply the clock signal, then and then only this circuit is activated. But in case of a asynchronous sequential circuit, this circuit is activated only when we apply the input. Okay, then another fourth point is the synchronous sequential circuits memory element are clock flip-flop. In sequential circuit, the memory element are clock flip-flop. Why clock flip-flop? Because each flip-flop we require a clock. For this, there are three flip-flop. This block is nothing but flip-flop. So the memory element in synchronous sequential circuit, memory element are clock flip-flop. What is clock flip-flop? Because each flip-flop required a separate clock. Each flip-flop requires a separate flip-flop. So these flip-flop are called as a clock flip-flop. And in case of asynchronous sequential circuit, memory element are either unclocked flip-flop or time delay element. So in this asynchronous sequential circuit, memory element is unclocked flip-flop. Why unclocked? Because its clock input is nothing but the output of previous flip-flop. Its clock input is nothing but the output of previous flip-flop. So it doesn't use clock signal. It uses the output of previous flip-flop to activate the next flip-flop. So asynchronous sequential circuit memory element is unclocked flip-flop because it use output of previous flip-flop to activation. So therefore it is a unclocked flip-flop element, memory element, and in this case there are a clock flip-flop memory element. Okay. So here we saw this memory element is nothing but a flip-flop. So here this memory element is a flip-flop, and whenever we connect the memory element to a combinational circuit, then it becomes sequential circuits. So the memory element are of two types. First is unclock flip flop and second one is the clock flip flop. If we use unclock flip flop, here we use unclock flip flop, then this sequential circuit become asynchronous sequential circuit. And we if we use clock flip flop as a memory element, then this circuit become a synchronous sequential circuit. Okay, so by using memory element, which memory element we use, which memory element we use, either we use unclock flip flop or we use clock flip flop. So if we use a unclock flip flop as a memory element, then the circuit become a synchronous sequential circuit. And if we use a clock flip flop as a memory element, then it become a synchronous sequential circuit. Okay, now, the synchronous sequential circuit are easy to design, but asynchronous sequential circuit are difficult to design. Fifth point is synchronous sequential circuit is easy to design, but asynchronous sequential circuit is difficult to design. The speed of operation is limited. The speed of operation is limited. In synchronous sequential circuit, the speed of operation is very slow. But in case of asynchronous sequential circuit, the speed of operation is high. A synchronous sequential circuit speed of operation is limited. That means it has very low speed. But in case of asynchronous sequential circuit, the speed of operations is very high. In synchronous sequential circuit, the change in input signal can affect the memory element upon the activation of clock signal. In synchronous sequential circuit, the input signal change in input signal can affect the memory element upon the activation of clock signal. That means whenever input combinations are changes, it affect the memory element. Here, this is the block diagram of sequential circuit. This is the memory element and this is the input. So whenever we change the input combination, then after changing this input combination, it affect the memory element. So whenever we change the input combination, the present state that stored in a memory element is changed. The present state that stored in a memory element is changed. Okay, and in case of asynchronous sequential circuit, the change in the input signal cannot affect the memory element at any instant of time. Can affect the memory element at any instant of time. So the memory element can be changed at any time whenever input is changed. But in synchronous sequential circuit, input memory element cannot be changed. Either we apply a clock signal. So whenever we apply the clock signal, its memory element is changed. If we change the here, let's talk about synchronous sequential circuit. Okay, if the input combination is changed but clock signal is not applied, the input combinations are changed but clock signal are not applied, then memory element cannot be changed. Why? Because clock signal is not applied. But if we change the input combination, if we change input combination and then we apply a clock signal, so after applying clock signal, so according to that input combination, memory elements are changes. According to that input combination, memory elements are changes. Why? Because we apply a clock signal. So whenever we apply a clock signal, memory elements are changes according to input combination in case of synchronous sequential circuit. But in asynchronous sequential circuit, memory element changes at any time whenever inputs are changes. It do not require clock signal for activation. So memory element changes at any instance of time whenever inputs are changes. It cannot require clock signal for activation. So here in asynchronous circuit, the change in the input signal can affect memory element at any instant of time, but memory element affect the memory element upon activation of clock signal. So memory element is changes when clock signal is applied, and here memory element changes at any instant of time whenever inputs changes. Okay, now the example of synchronous sequential circuits are clock flip-flop, and in asynchronous there are unclock flip-flop. Okay, so we can design any sequential circuit by using either synchronous or asynchronous method. Okay, so the next point is clock. So here we saw that memory element require a clock signal. Memory element require a clock signal for activation. So what is clock signal? So clock signal is nothing but a timing signal. Clock signal is nothing but a timing signal here. Clock signal is a timing signal. Every sequential signal will have this timing signal applied as an input signal. Okay, so every sequential circuit require a clock signal to activate the memory element. So this is basically a timing signal. This is basically a timing signal. So this signal, so this so this is the positive half and this is negative half. This positive half, positive half and negative half. So this is positive half and this is negative half of cycle. So this positive half and this negative half become a total time. One cycle time. Positive half and negative half become a one cycle time. Okay, now here the signal is low. Here the signal is low and here the signal is high. Again this signal is low and this signal is high. So in digital circuit we know that there are only two logic level, logic 0 and logic 1. Logic 0 means 0 volt and logic 1 means 5 volt, that we saw in previous semester. Okay, so here signal is low, that means there is 0 voltage, and here signal is high, that means logic 1. So here the logic 1 means here the signal is 5 volt. Okay, so now this edge is called as a leading edge. This edge is called as a leading edge. Why leading edge? Because the signal is switched from 0 to 1. The signal is switched from 0 to 1. So it leading because it increases from 0 to 1. Therefore, this edge is called as a leading edge. And this edge is called as a falling edge. Why falling edge? Because here the signal is 1. The signal is 1 and here the signal is 0. So it changes. So it decreases from 1 to 0. It decreases from 1 to 0. Therefore it is called as a falling edge. So this is the clock signal. So clock is a rectangular signal with a duty cycle 50%. Duty cycle 50% means what? It has the same off time and on time. This is the on time and this is the off time. So 50% duty cycle means equal time is equal to its off time. On time is equal to off time. So this is on time and this is off time. Here on time and off time both are equal. So when on time and off time both are equal, then it is called as a 50% duty cycle. Okay, the clock signal repeat itself after every t seconds. Here after the t seconds, this is the one cycle. So whenever this one cycle is completed, it again start with new cycle, positive and negative half. So whenever one cycle time is completed, it again start with new cycle. The flip-flop may respond to edge of the clock or they are respond to high or low flip-flop. So flip-flop is either response to low level, high level, or either leading edge or falling edge. So there are we can activate the flip flop by using either low level, high level, or by using leading edge or falling edge. So okay, now we will stop here. In next lecture we will start with flip flop. Okay, now we will stop here.